If you want to see me swatch the new Jouer holiday palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video. Let's just get this out of the way. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel, consider subscribing. I ended up picking up this palette during the kind of rolling sales that Sephora was doing in late November. And I took the opportunity because I kept hearing about this brand Jouer, which it's a good name, it means to play. And I just could not understand what the hype was, and I really think a big part of it is that a lot of influencers got PR. That's the impression I get. Jouer kind of flooded the YouTube with palettes. And when this little set came on for under 50 bucks, I just decided to give it a try. And when I take a look at this, so it's an interesting way of setting up the package. There's a kind of a Stila-like liquid eyeshadow and a palette. So let's look at this thing first off. It's called Ultra Foil Liquid Shimmer Eye Topper. So this is what the component looks like. Very much like Stila, isn't it? And then the palette, which if we look at the palette, it's already scratched up down here. Now, I really didn't understand what all the fuss was about because I do care about packaging, and if I am really honest here, it looks to me like it's like Makeup Revolution's kind of packaging. This palette should be like 12 bucks, just about the packaging. And the glitter on the front, people were saying, oh, it's such a gorgeous dragonfly. I don't get it. It's just a little bit of glitter stuck onto the box. Actually, this is just a sticker on top of the box. Like it's, the lettering is etched in, but not etched in, but probably lasered on. But this is just a sticker, people. Like there's nothing. It's basic plastic. Nothing interesting about this component whatsoever. The back, it is nice that the colors are all indicated on the back with all the respective colors, so we don't have to guess about which color is which. Like the NARS Hot Tryst palette, I have trouble. Where is it? I have trouble because the way the names are on the back, I hear different names for different shades, and I always think I've got the wrong one. So having the color on the shade, I do appreciate. So even though I love this is the kind of packaging that you pay, you know, 60, 70 bucks for, right? This plus this is $70. Dinky, dinky. I mean, nice and compact for travel, I guess, but El Cheapo. Okay, moving on. When we get into the palette, it does have a full mirror, and it is 12 shades, and they are all foiled shades by what I understand. Ultra Foil Eyeshadow Palette. So this thing, the inside, the contents has got to wow me to make up for the packaging, which to me is really important when I'm buying a creative type of product. Okay, so now that we've got my little beef out of the way, and this is not the only brand where I have a beef about it. If you want to see what type of packaging I really appreciate, brands that I think get it right, I will link the video right here. I mean, there are some brands that just do such a good job. Now, the packaging is mostly for stuff that was out last year, not this year, but you'll get the idea. I mean, like one that comes to mind right away is the Vlada collection, the collab between Smashbox and Vlada. Oh, anyway, that's a nice video to look at if you want to just enjoy beautiful packaging. Okay, we are going to just move on now. So there are 3 rows of 4 colors, and it really there's a lot of variety in here. And really what got me when I was looking at this picture going, yeah, I could definitely, this might be a good palette for me to try Jouer, was, I have to admit, this one really got me, and then the gold. I just am drawn to those colors, but there's a lot that's very nice. There's a gunmetal, there's kind of a beigey shimmery, like the champagne colors are always very nice. And then this one called Moonstone right here is super beautiful. So let's swatch, and let's just hope that what is ending up as swatches is better than what my first impressions are from an aesthetics perspective. I'm going to swatch the first row. The fourth one, Willow, is kind of crumbly. Oh yeah, very crumbly. Makes me think of the pink in the green cover MAC, I think it's called the Roses palette that MAC brought out for the holidays. Okay, so here are the first four. And that was Moonstone, 24 Karat, Spellbound, and Willow. And Willow is really, really quite crumbly. So I'm just going to build up a little bit Willow on the end so that it's lined up with the other colors that I'm going to be swatching. And the colors on the fingers, I mean, that gives you a good indication of just how shiny they are. So using a finger on the lid could do some nice work there. So those were relatively neutral, and we're going into the next row, which includes a very bright blue. So the blue and the green, very interesting colors. So let's get into those. And if you've seen any of my previous swatch videos, I go over the color multiple times. I don't think the single swipe is a requirement. So I never use my brush, only one swipe on my eye. So I'm not super concerned about that myself. So if that irks you, my apologies. I don't think it's important. Okay, so these are the four swatches right here. So there's the green, Glimmer, Starlight, Dragonfly, which is supposed to be a duochrome, and 1111. So let's do a little check on the duochrome. I don't really see it. Let's see here. Let's see on the finger. Do you think there's oh yeah, okay. I see it now. I see it on the finger, but I didn't see it in the swatch. I do think that these do need to be built up. So I'm going to do a second pass of these swatches. Okay, so here's the second pass at these swatches, and the green does show up a lot better, and the silver definitely does. So I'm okay with the green. I think that for an inner lid, if you want to play with green, but you don't want an in-your-face lime green, this would be really nice. And paired up with a little bit of a reddish matte would look really nice if you did that green on the inner lid. So that is really nice. I could see it as a really nice color for the holidays, along with, of course, the silver, but that goes without saying. Again, here are the fingers, very, very much true to color on those. And we have our last row coming up. And the last row does include a kind of a gunmetal and a really interesting purple, if you're into purples, which I am. And this one too, I'm kind of interested in this one. It makes me think at first glance of the color Ganache in the Chocolate Bar palette from Too Faced. So just the fact that I think it could do a really nice part of a smoky eye, maybe with a deep chocolate brown underneath or something. So let's see if I'm right. Nope, I am not right. It does not look like I thought it would. At least not on my finger. Really intrigued about the gunmetal. The gunmetal color it feels kind of on the dry side. And the purple is powdery, but as many of us know, purples are really hard to do. You guys will see me swatch right over a scrape that I got earlier this week, but oh well. It is what it is. Oh, okay, the purple is more, the purple ends up kind of more magenta, but these, just like the second row, I think these need to be built up more, but I'll show you the first go at it. So those are the colors. Let me just get you the names. Okay, so starting with this one, we have Skinny Dip, Eclipse, Twilight, which is kind of the gunmetal one, and then Mystique, or Mystic, which is the one that I thought was darker purple, but it's not, and the fingers are always nice to see. So that's what those look like. And the one that I thought, yeah, the one that I thought was going to be like Ganache from Too Faced, it's, I've got it wrong. It's more like the next one over, which was Eclipse. So this one right here, I think would end up, actually a mix of these two would give me kind of the same ideas as Ganache from Too Faced. I feel like I need to take Ganache out and take a look just to see if my memory is completely shot, so let's just take a look. Okay, so here's Gilded Ganache that I was talking about. Hopefully you can see some sort of resemblance. I'm not completely losing it. So let's just see what it looks like. Just go over the two. Okay, yeah, it's with a brown base. It kind of looks, if there was a brown base under these two, it would look somewhat like Gilded Ganache. So I'm not that far off, but definitely a brown base with some gold and a little bit of a bronze look to it. Okay, so ignore the blotch, ignore this blotch, but these are all of the swatches for this Jouer palette. Every time I say jouer, I want to say jouet. And jouet means toy. But jouer, to play, is also a really good word. What do I think of these swatches? There is a lot of, there was a lot of fallout as I was doing the swatches. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means it would be like glitter bomb on your face as you're doing your makeup. I'm okay with what I've seen. I don't have really strong feelings for or against. It is an all shimmer slash metallics palette. And I think if you have a lot of neutrals already, that an all shimmer palette is not a big deal. It's kind of like the heavy metals from Urban Decay. But out of the two, I would definitely gravitate to my Urban Decay quicker. You know, there's Dragonfly, the blue one, is what was identified really as a duochrome, like this one. But I have to admit that this guy, the fourth one, this one that I had trouble because it was kind of crumbly, has a very peach and then gold, peach undertone and then gold on top. That one was Willow. So Willow really does intrigue me as well. If you are looking for sort of a duochrome effect, but with a neutral, more neutral color, it's kind of like, it has a peach bronzy undertone and then some almost greenish gold glitter in it, but it does almost create a shift. Not quite, but almost. Yeah, and if you've never seen the Heavy Metals palette, I'm just going to take it out so that you can get a sense of what I'm talking about for the range of colors. And out of the two, that would probably be the one I would reach for, but for convenience, for a smaller palette, the Jouer palette looks like it has a big enough array of colors that I could definitely work with it. But the Heavy Metals palette is, I mean, it has 20 metallics in here, so here's the one side, so I don't blind you. Here's the one side. And these are more the neutrals. I love this red right there. And the gold is beautiful. And then there's the other side, with a lot more color, and of course this is gorgeous as well. And they are very, very metallic colors. So yeah, that's this palette, and probably out of the two I would have to say that the heavy metals, which I paid a lot less for 20 shades, would be my go-to out of them. But at the same time, I have not done a full focus on Jouer, so I have to reserve judgment until I actually use it on my eye. Speaking of, we have one more product to talk about, which is an eye topper in Constellation, and this really looks like the tiny, let me just give you a view compared to a full-size Stila. So this is just a deluxe mini. The Stila minis are pretty much this size. Let's take a look at that color. I'll swatch it on my hand here. We'll have to see how these perform as well. I should have done this first so I could dry it, let it dry and see how it works. This one is cute. This ultra foil packaging is cute, but of course I like the Stila packaging. It is kind of nice that it's a glitter top. It makes me think of the Ciate glitter flips. Kind of nice, although the one from Jouer is textured, this one is not. And this is the color so far, still drying down, but definitely glittery. I could see how this would have quite a bit of punch just kind of on its own with just a smoky eye. It's kind of a deep gunmetal gray or black, just smoked out on the eye, and then just putting that on the lid would be very nice. It's still a little bit tacky, but I can see that it is drying down quite a bit. So it was a nice bonus, but that's definitely not what got me to buy the palette. Buying the palette was just trying to figure out what the big thing about Jouer was. Okay, this is drying down. So yeah, it's decent staying power. And now I'm rubbing hard now. And it's staying just fine. So good. I mean, some of the glitter's coming off, but nobody's going to be rubbing their eye like crazy. So, okay, so that is my first view of the Jouer palette. I reserve judgment because it has not gone on my eye for a full day wear test. And if you're curious to know what is on my eye, I have done a try-on of the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction, I think it's called, the little 6-pan red palette for the holidays. I'll link it right there if you want to see me put this look on. So yeah, that is Jouer, and stay tuned for me trying on the palette in a more, like a try on and a brand new focus likely on it, just so I can give it a full thorough review. The reason I'm doing swatches on some of the palettes is because they are either on sale or they're holiday type palettes and they may not be around for a long time. And I wanted you to have a chance to see the colors even if I am not getting to them to use them right away. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. And I thank you very much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.